Alright, hello my modeler friends. Welcome to my layout. See when you come down the steps. And this is KB Rail. And we'll start the small tour. Previous video, obviously this was not here. This is Port Diana. It extends all the way out to here where the boxes are. Going to be my pier. That comes off that switch there. Lighthouse isn't where it's going to be, obviously. This is the main line. The main line runs through the helix. Just that little section between those two tortoises. The main line continues and goes up in the elevation behind Jameson Yard. We'll go back over here and go down the helix into staging, and it's very hard to get in there, so we'll show you this way. Upper left is of course the helix, and upper right and bottom left are the staging, both ends of the yard, and the lower right is the reverse loop at the other end. You can see where you're going. Control the switches down there. They are not motorized. They're on a hand throw. I made these boxes using goldenrod. The goldenrod goes to the switch. Try to show you that. From each one of those goes over to a switch. The goldenrod controls that. These little lights picked up at Lowe's. Awesome. Have a little remote. Can change the color, but this color is very subtle. So when we're operating, you won't see those. That enough to see to throw the switch. Everything's marked. Main, staging yard 7. There are 8 staging tracks and 1 bypass for the main. We'll continue on down here low. Obviously a switch 8. This is my block detection. This is the other end of the yard, staging yard. Same thing. Go down to my short circuit. I have the main, yard, and industries. So if you're short on the main, anywhere on the main, it's going to shut down the main. I could have made it a little bit more expansive, and I have room that I can. Right now I think that's fine. The second deck might have its own. NCE system, 5 amp booster. Runs up to JMRI, computer upstairs. My power switch, the red button is when you turn the system on. If you push that, it will throw all switches to the main to normal position. So everything on the main will go to number 1. This, my signaling, that push buttons works off of this also. Obviously I have no signals hooked up to it yet, just it's pre-wired, ready to go. It's a reverse module and the tortoise for the staging yard reverse. Come down here, I might as well finish with that. This is a reverse module on the main line. BD4 controls that. A second switch 8 and another BD4. Alright, we'll continue and we'll go back up to the main line here. Sorry about the wobble. And we'll follow the train around. Now, we're not going to follow it all the way. It's going pretty slow. Backdrop I have there is just I have started just practicing using the wet method, painted blue, start with white and then just sweep back and forth. Kind of makes the wispy clouds, and then I'll come in with a sponge and put in the big puffy clouds. And it doesn't match there too well. But, from a far effect, it's pretty good. We'll start back down here where you come up out of the staging yard and come around the main Port Diana. Brings you into Jameson Yard, which is a 130-foot turntable, DCC. This is the newer style. It can be controlled with your throttle by selecting accessories. It's in, set, ready to go. None of the tracks are actually permanent coming into it. They're just laying there. This roundhouse, actually this is not the roundhouse that's going to be going here. It's not big enough. I have another new kit to build. But this goes in to Jameson Yard. Out at the edge here is the main. It also splits, and you can go at a bypass behind the station and it takes you right back out to the main. Arrival departure, 2 arrival departure tracks, and they're controlled with the new I believe they're called Rail Crew uncouplers. They're pretty nifty. Turn it on. I don't think I can see the blue light on there, but electromagnets, switches right there. And then there's just 3 stub end with under the track magnets for the classification. That obviously breaks off down there and goes into the engine servicing facility. This will be down here at this end, so obviously the diesel. And split off down through here, go down to the roundhouse, and on the way you'll cooling tower, sanding towers, ash pit. Have all those buildings. Some of them are built, some are not. That is the main in the upper level there. Continue down here. Comes the train. Everything on the main is controlled with a tortoise switch. This is also right here, control with tortoise. Switch number 200, obviously. That goes into the class or the arrival departure. And yeah, the arrival departure there is thrown with a hand throw. The rest of the switches in the yard, actually not even hand throw. I'm using the Pico, and they are go with your finger. Snap switch. Gives the yard master a little bit extra something to do. This is the town that comes out of Jameson Yard and goes into Chase City. This is not. These buildings are just sitting here. Actually, that's my brewery, and that goes over in the town of Ashley. The 3 little buildings and the hotel will be in Chase City, but this is this doesn't go here. I don't even know what that's called, to be honest with you. I can't remember now. So the main comes off the main, keeps coming here. You can go either the upper main or the lower main. We're following the lower main right now. This switch takes you back into Chase City. This switch right here will be going into Riley Junction, which is all this section right here. Be some industries. I think I have it set up for 3 different industries in there. This lower main, follow it. goes to this Y. The outer part is the main. The inner is a passing siding. And it comes back around. And with the block detection in JMRI, train goes in whichever way. It hits the block right before the switch, it automatically throws a switch using JMRI programming. This switch over here on the main cuts off, and that will come down through here, goes into the town of Ashley, which is on this peninsula. And let's see what we have in store for that. Here's the blueprint. This obviously is right here where we come off there. This goes into the town of Ashley. I'm going to have a passenger station right in here. This is the brewery right here. I can't remember what I'm putting here. I think this is going to be like for canned food, maybe fish. Can't remember that one either. And this was an afterthought. I had so much room, I thought I'm going to utilize it. So threw two more industry spurs. You'll have to back into Ashley, do everything that way, pull out, or you can pull in and use these spurs over to the left and back into them, maybe even the brewery. And you come back out of there, come back around the lower main. Now you're obviously are reversed and going this way. But then this switch right here is where it goes up to the upper main. And that's where the train is running right now. This slowly climbs. Slowly climbs. This is at its highest point right here. Here he comes again. Goes around. There's a switch right there. A little bit of area. I can put a flat background building back there at the end by the sky for something. Anything on the main, I actually use a electromagnet. So you're going to have to use the main to do any switching there. It comes to another magnet and another switch, and that will be able to come back in through here a little ways. Still don't know what I'm putting there. This was an afterthought also. The main just went all the way around here, but I decided to put another passing siding in because it's an awful long ways around. Gives a nice passing siding because that's the main there. Goes all the way down to the helix. Without it, that would be tough. We'll go back down here. Comes through the main through again, and then eventually it will continue up the helix. Comes up the helix to the second deck. Now the second deck is obviously just storage. I plan on putting my coal facility up here, and this is quite a long run, so I'll have room to put something else too. I don't know what yet. And then that obviously the second deck doesn't end there. It does connect from there over to there. Not going to be a whole lot right in this area, but right about there it's going to start, and it's going to have a small yard. I have another DCC 90-foot turntable. It's the older style. You have to do everything by the push button. Doesn't work with the select accessory. But I have a small roundhouse I can put in there. It's just laying up here. Had to be up in here somewhere. Follow this down. Just storage again. Some styrofoam off an old layout. Actually got this off of a member of our club, had passed away. Got a lot of stuff off of him. from his layout. We were put in charge of tearing out his layout, and a lot of this, the staging yard that's all underneath there, that was all from his layout. It was just, that was one of his big yards on his main layout. I ended up using it for my staging. Some of this is his here, not all of it. Some of this turn here was his, just pieces that were cut out. Utilized what we could, and that's pretty much the whole layout. You can see I put different lighting in. I do have other lighting that I can light up, give me some more light. These lights are actually not very aren't and these lights obviously I'm just using to give me some light underneath. I do have stripped LED lighting, the China stuff, but cheap, and it works. That will go underneath the whole second deck. I'll have strip lighting underneath of it to light up below. These are just on to give me lighting right now, and of course all my storage. Bill boxes and bill routing car system, got off of Micro Mart. Now I have a buddy that has a 3D printer and laser burner, and he's going to put the names on the boxes. He can burn them right into the box, so it's going to be nice. I guess that's it for now. I don't do a whole lot of work right now. It's been very busy at work, so it's slow going. Sorry again for all the motion, but I'll get back here and give you a good wide angle of the layout. Again, the room's 26 foot long. Doesn't seem it here in this video, but it is, and it's 12, I believe 12.3, maybe 12.5 inches wide right here. Gives me quite a bit of train. You can see those boxes I made. I don't know if I can see if I can get you to see what that looks like. Turn the lights on underneath the staging yard. See if I can get a view of one of the switches. Actually, I can get the view here. This is the switch from the... There we go. Let me see, I'll throw it by hand. That's what leads into the reverse loop. Alright guys, that's as far as I am right now. A lot of buildings to build. Can't even do anything more really in the yard until I have most of those built, so I know exactly where I'm going to position them. And one last time, run by. It's a Reviosi model. Some of the cars I've weathered. Some have not been weathered yet. All KD couplers, metal wheels, and they will have resistors on the wheels so the block detection can detect even the cars, not just the engine. Lots of blocks, lots of wires underneath. Alright gang, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.